Hey, welcome back to another episode of The Harvest here at Planting Roots. Each month I highlight what we've been doing here, and November was a busy month. We hosted our annual Strength to Thrive conference in Columbia, South Carolina. It was such a blessing for me to be surrounded by so many women seeking the heart of God. And it was so wonderful just to gather together to talk about what it looks like to meet and multiply. If you were able to attend, go ahead and comment down below from where you came in from. We would love to hear from you. We would also love to hear any feedback that you might have from the event. Also, thank you so much to the events team for all the hard work that you put in to make sure that this event was a success. Well, even with all the excitement of the event, we also maintained our regular Thursday morning prayer and devotional time over on our Instagram page, where our spiritual development director, Michelle Heeb, meets us to pray and just to encourage us with a few words. If you have any prayer requests that you need, please do not hesitate to reach out to us at prayer@plantingroots.net. We would love to be able to pray for you. Well, the publishing team was also busy working on the Women of the Word Wednesday. This month, we highlighted Moena Bell Michael in honor of Veterans Day and her contribution that she made. You can learn more on her over on our website at plantingroots.net. We also published another episode of our Deeply Rooted podcast. You can find that wherever you listen to podcasts. Well, this month on our Seed series here on our YouTube channel, Corey discussed living intentionally and how to choose well. In week 1, she talked about taking the time to evaluate what we are doing and what we've been called to. Go back and check out what she has to say about what it means to be called and what it looks like in our lives. She challenged us to determine what the big mission in our life is so that we can make better, smaller choices each day. And so then in week 2, Corey went into more depth about what those small choices each day might look like. She explained that in order to truly walk in the will of the Lord, we have to know his heart. And spending time with the Lord allows us to know the heart of God for our lives and for others. And so when we know the heart of God, we can make wiser choices. In week 3, Corey described the difference between being busy and being engaged. And when we're engaged, we are being purposeful about our choices. She ties in the 2 greatest commands that Jesus calls us to in Mark 12:30-31. When we love the Lord with all our heart, mind, soul, and strength, and love our neighbors as ourselves, we will live engaged lives versus busy lives. In week 4, Corey talked about how remembering who God is and what he's done in our lives gives us courage to choose wisely. The idea of remembering God occurs multiple times throughout the Bible. And it's important for us to be reminded of how faithful God has been, so we feel empowered to say yes to the things he calls us to, even if they scare us. Or maybe we need to be empowered to say no to some things that will just keep us busy. So Corey encouraged us to write down all the things that God has done in our lives. Recalling all the ways God has been faithful in the past has helped me stay the course when I felt like giving up. As we all know, living purposefully and intentionally for the Lord can be difficult at times. Leaning into God rather than choosing to go at it alone can seem like a hard choice. However, in those hard times, when I look back and I remember he's seen me through it before, it helps me persevere because I have faith that he will see me through it again. I've been in ministry where it seems like there was no way we could meet the needs of the women, but somehow God always made a way. I've had to make tough decisions that seemed impossible. But as I've leaned into the Lord and trusted him to guide me, I've come out on the other side of the impossible with a newfound faith. And looking back on those times gives me strength and courage to keep moving forward. Finally, tomorrow, Corey will conclude our month of devotionals. She'll talk about living in the moment. It's easy to just go through the motions sometimes, but when we live in the moment, we will live purposeful lives where we see people for who they are and are able to love God and others as we are called. Living in the moment helps us remain thankful for all God has done as well. So be sure to tune in tomorrow to see what else Corey has to say. Well, as I've mentioned, this month we talked about our purpose, God's will for our lives, where He's called us, and how to live intentionally. So I'd like to close by reading Mark 12:30-31. And you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your mind, and with all your strength. The second is this: you shall love your neighbor as yourself. There is no other commandment greater than these. So I challenge you to have grace for yourself if you can't complete all the things that you feel you compelled to do, especially during the busy holiday season. Instead, lean into the Lord and seek His heart. Ask Him to show you who you need to love in this season and in this moment. He will lead you if you are listening. God bless.